Mary Ann DeBarry put us in touch with Michael Thompson, one of the key witnesses who helped convict Bermudez.
Just tell us things that you remember. Where'd you look at the pictures at, Michael?
In the precinct. Then we just looking at pictures, and then cops like, you don't see nobody? I was like, nah, we don't see nobody. And then a friend of mine said, oh, look at this guy. Damn, look at the guy who shot the person. The guy, and that's when the cops took the picture, and they ran with it.
They ran with it?
Yeah, they ran with it. He was like, oh, was that the guy? He was like, nah, it wasn't the guy, but it looked like the guy.
Okay, all right.
And the cop said, pick the guy that was in the picture.
And did you?
The cop said it like that?
He said,
Pick out the guy that you saw in the
yeah.
picture?
And the district attorney, Rodriguez?
Yeah, Rodriguez, yeah. Mr. Rodriguez. He was real nice. He's like, well, you know, you got these court cases, I can make them disappear if you just point that guy out. I was like, that guy didn't do nothing.
Why'd you point?
I had my own stuff going on. Had my court cases. He said, I guarantee you, if you don't go out there, you're gonna get locked up. I said, look at this, look at your rap sheet. And he said, I know you be out there doing dirt, but you know.
And it all went away.
What happened to your court cases?
Everything went away. Everything got dismissed.
And what is the truth?
Definitely not Bermudez.
Yeah, definitely not him.
You're absolutely sure?
I'm absolutely sure. I never seen that kid until I saw that picture.
According to the other affidavits that DeBarry obtained, a clear pattern was starting to emerge. Mr. Rodriguez persuaded me to pick out Bermudez under threats of sending me to jail if I refused. I am absolutely certain that Fernando Bermudez is not the shooter of Raymond Blount. The police and prosecutor pressured me into identifying the defendant. Even Efren Lopez, the star witness for the prosecution, later said, I was threatened by detectives and coerced into identifying Bermudez. Reggie and I discovered that in December of '91, within weeks of testifying against Bermudez, pending gun charges against Michael Thompson were dropped. We also found court records that showed 3 other witnesses also had similar charges dropped.
Will we be able to get any statements from the DA or a representative of the district attorney's office?
No.
No?
No.
Thank you.
From all our years on the force, we knew that the police often use scare tactics to get information. But the allegations here went much further. And Reggie and I were starting to wonder if, in this case, the police had gone too far.
Efren Lopez, he has never, ever denied to me the truth of his first affidavit that he gave me in Rikers Island, and subsequently several more saying the same thing, that he knows the shooter. Will is Luis Munoz. Luis Munoz is the shooter. Even Luis Munoz's sister told me that Luis was at the party, the mock ballroom, that he went down with that faction, that he was a friend of Pito Lopez, that he was loyal to him, that he protected him, that he took him off the streets and brought him home to live with him for 3 months. Pito Lopez lived with my grandmother and my brother and myself. And my brother's name is Luis Munoz, in parentheses, Will Lou. Since the year 91, in the fall, that's in September of 91 or late August of 91, he has been out of the state. Fernando Bermudez is not Will Lou. My grandmother went to court to prove this in the spring of 1992. She was not allowed to testify at a hearing because the hearing was denied. When I went to investigate the West 90s in the area of the park, I sat in the park and I just watched and waited and let the word be known that I was there to just speak, that I had a kid in jail who was wrongfully convicted, and it wasn't good, it wasn't right, and I appealed to their sense of honor and decency. I wasn't there to prosecute anybody. I'm not a prosecutor. I was there to get the truth, to get my kid out. I spoke to a young man named Freddie Maldonado, who was someone who was in the neighborhood, who knew all of the people who went to the mock ballroom from the West 90s. Freddie knew Luis Munoz, Walu. Freddie knew Pito, Efren Lopez, and he knew many of the people who were at the mock ballroom. He knew that they went down carrying weapons, and he testified to that.
He's been part of the 92nd Street group his whole life. His name was brought up repeatedly at the trial, and he says he believes Fernando Bermudez is not guilty.
He is not Wulu, Lewis, or the shooter of this here incident.
We went to 92nd Street looking for Wulu, something the police never did. And guess who we found? This man, Lewis, also known as Wool Lou. We covered his face to protect his identity. You know, a lot of people have accused you and said you were involved.
Yeah, people were saying that, yeah.
And what do you have to say about that?
Well, it wasn't me. I mean, I wasn't here. I was going on record. I was living in Kentucky.
The search for Louis Munoz, a.k.a. Wool Lou, took us far and wide. One sister admitted to us that her brother was known by the nickname Wool Lou back at the time of the murder. But after digging around for a few days, we finally found a cell phone number for him with a New York City area code.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, Louis.
All right, what's going on here, man?
Everybody keeps pointing the finger at you, and we're just trying to get the story, the right story. As a matter of fact, I've been... I
was not living here.
Back in August 1991, where were you? What state were you in?
I was living in Kentucky.
You were in Kentucky.
Yes, working at a five-star restaurant called the Waterfront. That's where I was working at.
According to Munoz, he had been a bathroom attendant at a restaurant in Kentucky. But when we called there to verify his alibi, they claimed he never worked there.
Hello.
Listen, Louis, I called the restaurant. Spoke to the manager then, the general manager. Been there since before 91. This guy Charlie. Never heard of you. Matter of fact, they didn't even have a bathroom attendant until years later.
Oh, that's false.
Well, the guy's been here all these years.
Oh, that's wrong.
And he doesn't remember you. Do you have anything like that can back that up? Any kind of old pay stubs? I know it's a long time ago, but any chance of anything like that?
I don't know.
Mientras tanto, el tiempo pasa y Fernando desespera en su larga condena. Lo único que lo sostiene es el amor y la fe de sus padres.
Porque yo no puedo seguir en esta vida, tú sabes. No puedo, es una vida muy fuerte para mí y yo no puedo pagar por algo que yo no hice, eso es todo.
He's gonna come home one day, and everybody gonna wait for him.
It hurts. It hurts that Fernando's still in jail, serving somebody else's time, and there's nothing I could do.
It is difficult every single day to wake up and realize and look in the mirror, knowing that I'm innocent, having to proceed with every day, not knowing what's gonna happen next for my safety or my future.
I just thought that it's as simple as basic arithmetic. You tell the truth, and you get exonerated. I really believe that.
When your first opportunity for parole comes up in 2014,
Yes.
will you be paroled?
It's one of my greatest fears because one of the requirements oftentimes is for a person to express remorse or to say that they're guilty of the crime so they could have that on record. How can I do that? One of my greatest fears is that I may die in prison, proclaiming my innocence.
But it isn't easy knowing that I can't be with my family or be with my friends or just have the rights of an ordinary human being because my freedom has been taken away unjustly, carelessly, and unnecessarily.
My life has taken on a new perspective.
Is that what keeps you going, the hope that someday you're going to get out of here?
Yeah. That's what keeps me going. It's the truth. That's what it is. This is devastating me, man. This situation, I can't even describe what I've been through. To keep my sanity, how much am I supposed to endure? I am counting on the public to help me bring forward the truth.
It's just frustrating because I know these people are very intelligent, ADA Rodriguez and Detective Mazanova. They know what they did. They made a mistake and they continue to prosecute Fernando.
Fernando Bermudez was railroaded by a prosecutor who was overzealous and a chief homicide detective on this case who was ignorant and lazy. He never went to the neighborhood Lopez directed him to go to. He never arrested the man known as Wool Lou, a.k.a. Luis Munoz. He never arrested Wilma Rodriguez, who was a dead ringer for Fernando Bermudez. He just closed the books on a case the moment he arrested Fernando Bermudez. Here you have a prosecutor who knew his stuff and acted terribly, terribly, unfairly, improperly, illegally against this poor defendant for what